Can you feel it? Are you elevated like the fans that have lined up all the way to the street? Yes, you can. That's right. We are elevated 5,000 feet in the sky. Well, not the sky. We're on the ground, but we're elevated from sea level, 5,000 feet. This is round 7 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship. These people, ravenous fans, lining up to enter UMC, Utah Motorsports Campus. Let's take a look. Alec Robbins leaving the start line. Here we go. Dylan Hughes hit 202 miles per hour on the Bonneville Salt Flats earlier this week. Congratulations to him. Doesn't need to go that fast, but he does need to keep it on the track. There goes Alec Robbins, that first outside zone. Transitioning into the second outside zone. Alec Robbins diving inside, shuts it down. He followed Alec Robbins like a moving clipping point. Once the lead car shuts down, run is on. That's for Alec Robbins. Dylan Hughes out front again in that Permatex Royal Purple GT Radial BMW. Transition outside zone 2. Coming in hot. There's Alec Robbins. He needs to make it up. He's going to try to force an error on Dylan Hughes' side. The dozer. He plows through outside zone 2. Going to outside zone 3. Flirting with the dirt. Oh, and Alec Robbins exits stage right for Robbins in that Kenda Tires Nissan Z. And slide him right for Dylan Hughes. So Hughes will advance on. He's leads, and again, if you recall, even as recent as Seattle, he overcooked it in the outside zone 1, and those are full throttle Ford Mustangs, and man, he is right there on that outside zone 1. He dials it in. Here we go, and look at the attitude of that car, lifting that front right tire up. Ryan Littoral, he's right there. He is hanging with them, so a lot of eyeballs on James Dean, but Ryan Littoral, oh, and he dives in on the inside. Unfortunate for that Sunoco Sim Magic S15. He dives on the inside. He does regain that position. Fun Haver off-road team out at Crandon is watching on emphatically to see who and what is going to happen here. All right, Ryan Littoral initiates in that first outside zone. Looks like he got rid of that shake, no problem for him. Does barely just exceeds that race line and now go into the second outside zone. Ryan Littoral, little left foot brake. You see that front right wheel stop, but James Dean, that allows him to catch up here. And now transitioning to that last outside zone. I'm assuming we're going to get a side-by-side. Littoral on it. Wow. Great run by Ryan Littoral. You talk about, and here we go, throw it to James Dean, gets the victory. So this is a simple victory here, a by run. Lay out and listen. Eagle Auto Works, again, that spicy BMW of Andy Haley advances on to the 16. That's not where you want to go, bud, FYI, when you go to battle 16. And Kenshiro Gushi. Brandon Sorensen, United States Air Force BMW, Kenshiro Gushi, that Gretty Motti's GR86. Brandon Sorensen does exceed. You see him hitting that cone there. Again, that'll be a small deduction for him, exceeding that race line on the outside zone. Going to outside zone 2. Good posture, good composure from both the drivers. Look at, both the cars very settled. Minimal corrections, if at all. Ken Gushi, oh, Brandon he dips a tire, but Ken Gushi overcooks the outside zone 3. There was a loose front suspension component on Ryan Littoral's car. There's a vibration in the front of the car, so he wanted to remedy that. Here we go. Now we got Kenshiro Gushi out front of that first outside zone right there. And, you got to think, Brandon Sorensen, this is where, basically, yes, he's a young driver, but maybe a little bit mature for his age, and he shows that composure. He doesn't need to do anything crazy because Kenshiro Gushi does have that incomplete. This is the right tempered approach that Brandon needs to take in order to get the win. And he still says, hey, I'm here, man. Brandon Sorensen gets the victory. D-Mads, just every turn of that wheel gives him some more knowledge of how this car is going to act. Jeff Jones, all right, initiates into that first outside zone. Man, seems to have a great sight of that outside zone, going into outside zone 2. And Derek Madison, a little bit of struggling there, tries to find that second outside zone. Takes a shorter line, now going to this last outside zone. D-Mads, you saw him jump up, but then has to back down. And Jeff Jones, their fast orange competition time out. So the winner of this going against B. Sorensen. Here we go. So again, this is the second line. Keep in mind, So Derek Madison, that Fuel Lab, Fuel Technologies, S&T. Oh, look at that front right. Did it? It looked like it.
It might have been.
Yeah.
It might have been the rear. Looked like it might have caught the edging of the curb, and that's what caught him. So we'll have to go back and watch it again. But yeah.
Oh, yeah. As Jeff Jones, he doesn't even need to do this. Derek Madison was leading Jeff Jones in the chase position.
So wow. But it looks like, yeah, Jeff Jones is going to be moving on.
This has championship implications. Odie Bakshi, this is a must-win for the championship to stay alive. If he gets knocked out, James Dean will be your 20. And Diego Higa, just like that, goes off in that first outside zone. Diego Higa, the talented Brazilian driver. Odie Bakshi does need to complete the run, as Diego Higa does have an incomplete in that chase position. Still, Odie Bakshi needs to complete this portion of his battle, and he's right on it. Textbook run there from Odie Bakshi. Looks like Higa might even give him a little, you can see that side skirt.
Both drivers now coming in.
All right, Diego Higa, a little slow crawl there in that Diego Higa JDM Supreme 86 FRS. And here we go. Oh, Higa bows out. That's a wrap. He fists it. So there it is. That's just right there. Diego Higa says, shuts it down. Everybody's partying, right? You know, including James Dean, but also, you know, he came over and won that event. You know, so the flat tracks is where he definitely has the power. Talk about power. Goes in that first outside zone. Now transitioning through that second outside zone. Here goes Shanahan. You can see good angle there, placing that car absolutely perfectly. That E36, that again Red Bull vehicle. Now that last outside zone. Tell you what, Shanahan, Rome Charpentier, he knows how that car is going to react. I mean. Here we go, Rome Charpentier now out front with the fresh air. Shanahan tracking him down again, clearly sitting 10th and 14th. Talking about Shanahan out in the 10th spot, and Shanahan looks like both of them knocking out that cone. We'll have to take a look at the overhead camera here in the second outside zone. And there we go, Shanahan diving in. Rome Charpentier, he talked about maybe having a little bit more tire than Shanahan. There goes Shanahan. Looked like a little correction, maybe hesitation on that transition outside zone 3. And diving in, look at that into formation. Goes Rome and Shanahan. So there we go, Shanahan or Charpentier. Slide him left for Shanahan. Rome Charpentier, Shanahan. That's the right call. I hope he's all right. But hey, happy birthday to Mrs. Manoa, Hero's mom. But Hero making history, the youngest ever to podium in Formula Drift history, that Njuku Racing 86. Here goes Hero Manoa. Kyle Mohan looks like he's just a little bit, barely. We'll have to take a look at that again. Hero Manoa powers on through into that second outside zone, dialed, set it and forget it. Come on, save some for the rest of us. You know? This guy, I mean, how many laps did he take on his SimMagic setup back at home in Japan? Nitro Circus, that guy's a weapon. Yeah. All right, here we go. All right, here we go. We got Kyle the Menace Mohan, Hero Manoa, and here goes Kyle Mohan into, it looks like he sees just a little bit there. A small deduction, but not an incomplete. Now going to the second outside zone. Good angle from him. Hero Manoa, that allows him to just be right there. Looks like he backs off just a little bit. Kyle Mohan in that last outside zone. Way shallow by Kyle Mohan. There it is. Hero Manoa gets the win unanimously. We'll see which one of these drivers moves on to the 16. Talking about Rad Dan Burkett and his Toyota Supra. He swings in front of the three-time champ, Christopher Forsberg, in his NOS Energy Drink Nismo Auto Parts, all new Z. So bouncing and bobbing there from Rad Dan Burkett. And you saw him go quite a bit off, blasting those cones in that first outside zone. Forsberg now dialing it in there in that chase position. You know, right out of the gate, that was back to Here we go, Christopher Forsberg. He is going to lead in the NOS Energy Drink Nismo Auto Parts, all new Z. He's on those GT radial tires into that first outside zone. A little bumper tap there, exploding the cone. Now into this second outside zone. Chris Forsberg gets out there. Rad Dan, you see him massaging to get out there in his beautiful Mark IV Supra. Now into this last outside zone. Let's see this transition. Ooh, Rad Dan Burkett. Too early on that transition. We saw this from some of the Prospect drivers, but Forsberg riding that razor's edge. Whoa. Little bash there across the finish line. And there it is. Chris Forsberg will get the win. You know, this is where he won his Prospect Championship last year, so he's familiar with the track. He likes it. He loves it. Let's get some more of it. Kazuya Taguchi, up garage ISR performance, 86 initiates. Ben Hobson aggressive and bounces.
Success from this. Oh man, that is tough to say. Ben, let's see here. So 3-2, he's at the 2.
To this, there's that decel area. I mean, it's a scotch. But it's a shared fault, so it's going to come down to the second run. So here we go, moving on to our next battle. The Rockstar Energy Drink Toyota GR Supra Nitto Tires going against birthday boy Nick Novak. The Kenda Tires Novak Racing BMW transitioning into the second outside zone. Here goes another three-time champ dialing it into that second outside zone. Novak a little bit of a shallower line, but does have good proximity. Let's see how it transitions here. Novak going to take a look at that overhead camera. Let's take a look at that from different angles. Look at that. It looked like he threw a little bit of dust up. Back in the back of the act. Nick Novak. Here we go. Kenda Tires BMW. And here we go with Frederick Osbo. Let's see if the birthday boy can take it to the top. Nick Novak initiating in front of the nose of that Toyota GR Supra. And initiating. Nice job by Novak. You know, you could barely see him blowing over those cones. And the second outside zone, Novak, you talk about using all the track. He's out there as well. Did not see the little brown cloud. Now going to this last outside zone. There is, again, the robot-esque of Frederick Osbo. Look at the proximity, just dialing it in. Hey, and here we go. Let's see if you're right, Frederick Osbo. Novak, slide him left for Frederick Osbo. He gets the win, and yeah. BMW Drift HQ, but Stuckey would love to rain on his parade in that M-Spec Performance S chassis. Here goes Adam LZ right there on that outside zone edge. And going to that second outside zone, Stuckey definitely needs to play catch up here. Looks like LZ pulling away from Stuckey, taking a shallower line. Pull that right tire up on that front right. Wow, unbelievable run there from Adam LZ. Whoa. He is right there. Again, another little pixie dust run. Man. On the roof and breezy in the hand when the party's on. Here we go, talking about party. Here we go to the second run of this party. Daniel Stuckey initiates into that first outside zone, gets a bit wonky. That's definitely 2 tires off. That's gonna hurt him, and that does affect Adam LZ in that chase position. That's hard to follow. We saw that earlier with Forsberg and Dan Burkett. Now in the second outside zone, transitioning into that third. Daniel Stuckey now dialing it in. You can see him just refining it, twisting the screws. And Adam LZ banging doors across the finish line.
Do you?
I have a rib. All right, here we go. Adam LZ, Dan Stuckey, and Adam LZ gets the victory. And Alex, here we go. So Ben Hobson now out front. Kazuya Taguchi in the chase position. Big initiation there from Ben Hobson. He throws a lot of angle at it. And now making it real clear into the second outside zone. Kazuya Taguchi getting thrown off here by Ben Hobson going gangster with the, I mean, it's a Penzo Ford Mustang. That almost looked like a Chelsea to Nova initiation. Kazuya Taguchi, nowhere to be. And Ben Hobson goes off. Kazuya Taguchi, Ben Hobson. We got a Ben Hobson. Yeah, so there it is.
There we go.
Yeah.
All right, yeah,
there it is. Hey, we got there.
Yeah,
all right.
We figured.
One more time, if you didn't see it, roll the tape back. And after this battle, who's going to win? Kazuya Taguchi, Up Garage ISR Performance, FRS or BRZ or 86. Here we go. Ben Hobson, Penzo, Mustang RTR Spec 5FD. Looks like, all right, he dials it back. Now transition that second outside zone. Kazuya Taguchi dials it in. Ben Hobson, again, how good a percentage, how healthy is the car? Well, right now it's in a bath of smoke. Now to this last outside zone, Ben Hobson could dive back a little bit. Good proximity, almost loses it. Here we go. So Ben Hobson, Penzo, Mustang RTR out front, Nitto Tires across the nose of Kazuya Taguchi into that first outside zone. Honest, didn't do that backy entry. And Kazuya Taguchi looks like he's having a tough time there hanging with that Mustang. And there he is out front with the fresh air. Big angle there for Hobson. Kazuya Taguchi back quite a bit. Now he dives in that last outside zone. Ben Hobson riding the edge of the course. And Kazuya Taguchi tries to thread the needle on the Ford Mustang.
Bro.
Yo, Kazuya Taguchi, Ben Hobson, one more time. One more time. Let's do it again, and one more time. But now, here we go. Sliding bananas, banana split. Who's going to get the victory? Kazuya Taguchi and Ben Hobson. Carl Taylor's watching. Here we go. Up Garage ISR Performance in that first outside zone. Kazuya Taguchi, Ben Hobson kind of taking a shower line. Here we go. Again, with Kazuya Taguchi out front, Ben Hobson dialing it back a little bit, lifting that front right tire. And now transitioning into that last outside zone, Hobson makes a correction. Kazuya Taguchi, he puts it right on that course edge. Hobson maybe giving Kazuya Taguchi a little too much breathing room. Team, here we go. Ben Hobson swings it across the nose of Kazuya Taguchi one more time. He does take out that cone, so he exceeds just a little bit. Now coming to that second outside zone, he's lifting that front right once again. Styles for miles, three-wheel motion, like a lowrider. Now coming to that last outside zone, Kazuya Taguchi dives in. Does it pay off? Kind of takes an inside, shallower line, but he does have that proximity that was very reminiscent of the previous battle. Kazuya Taguchi, Ben Hobson, we go one more time, we're gonna get a winner. Kazuya Taguchi gets 1, 2. Kazuya Taguchi gets the victory. Here we go, leaving that start line. Here comes Taylor Hole. Chasing down again. Pride of Paducah, Cash Racing, Jonathan Hurst into that first outside zone. Good job from him. Taylor Hole going to take a look at that overhead, see where his vehicle was. Don't want to speak too soon here. Good angle there from Jonathan Hurst. Taylor Hole flirts with the edge of the track. And Hurst now bringing it on in. A 3. Ooh, Mr. Cool gets a little Mr. Dirt. Jonathan Hurst in the chase position. Wrangler kind of inspired the old school Dale Earnhardt livery once again for Taylor Hole into that first outside zone. Let's see how, looking a lot more comfortable out front. Jonathan Hurst trying to stick it to the door. See come unwound a little bit for both the drivers. Now transitioning into that last outside zone. Jonathan Hurst, again, just back and forth.
Let's get into where they need to be, so let's take a look here as the judge's decision comes up.
One more time. All right, here we go. Let's see the restart here. Rack them and track them. Mr. Cool, that's the name. That name again is Mr. Cool. Coming in is that of Jonathan Hurst, Cash Racing, Cash Money, with the Dutch out the sunroof saying money ain't a thing. Mr. Cool. There we go. Pride of Paducah, Taylor Hole, the Comp Cams, Kenda Tires, Corvette. Now transitioning, second outside zone. You can see him hanging tough into that last outside zone. All right, Taylor Hole's trying to track him down. Jonathan Hurst, woo, taking those signature wheels to the dirt, but they fight back. Taylor Hole, Comp Cams, Kenda Tires, Corvettes. All right, here we go, tip to tail. The hood is off. Let's drop the roof, and there we go. Taylor Hole looking a lot more comfortable out front, and look at Jonathan Hurst. Jumps up, has to back off. They kind of just surge back and forth like the tide. And now in that last outside zone, Jonathan Hurst, ooh, a little shimmy there from Taylor Hole. Yeah. He takes a shallower hole. And here it is. Jonathan Hurst gets 1, 2, and a 3. It's unanimous. The Rudy Hansen Sasquatch over there. Here we go. Trent Beecham, Rudy Hansen. Let's see what we got. The next entire Clonex BMW. Ooh, I saw that hesitation. You saw in the cockpit. You saw his wheels kind of not be exactly where they were. Looks like he almost had a beehive, little beehive action. Into the second outside zone. Rudy tucks in. And Rudy comes in that last outside zone. Oh, Rudy, he gets thrown off. Goes rallycross on us. Let's see who's going to drop the hammer here. Rudy Hansen, Trenton Beecham, Rudy Hansen, Team Hansen comes into that first outside zone. Let's take a look. Ooh, Rudy Hansen saw that car get lifted up into the second outside zone. Quick little lift there, and Rudy's popping wheelies, man. Now let's see this transition. Trenton Beecham, he is right there, hanging out in the smoke. Beecham to the door of Rudy Hansen. He has to back off. You see that front bumper gets knocked off, and it looks like Trenton Beecham gets the victory. Rudy with the wind and the activation of the vehicles. Here we go. Matt Field, the Perla Heatwave Visual, Lean Customs, Corvette, the Beast from the Bay, 777 initiates that first outside zone. Dials it in, that first one. Simon Olsen in tow, hops forward, and Matt Field, you can see locking up those Forge Star wheels, and now going that last outside zone. Simon Olsen not exactly matching the angle of Matt Field. Aggressive, the Beast of the Bay. He does dip that tire, but it doesn't end up grabbing his wheel. So Simon Olsen out front. And there goes Matt Field lunging again. The chase car is allowed to leave the start line prior to the lead car. And tip to tail with Matt Field. Look at aggressive. He is making his presence felt. Does not rattle the Norwegian pilot of Simon Olsen in his second outside zone. Simon, look at this. Matt almost tried to force an error. Hey, I'm right here, bro. The beast of the bay, the fangs, the claws, it's all out. Trying to sink him in. Transition that last outside zone. Simon Olsen right there. Good line by Olsen. Matt Field. Slide him left for Field, right for Olsen, and Matt Field gets the win. Let's send it for our first battle of our top 16. Ryan Turk and that Rain-X Toyota GR Corolla Rockstar Energy drink pilot initiates in that first outside zone. This hot hatchback overcooks it. Those two tires off in that first outside zone, and this is what we're talking about. You know, not a lot of track time as Dylan Hughes, the dozer, trying to bully him around, trying to push him around the dozer, put on that snow plow, pushing him on through. In that last outside zone, Ryan Turk does dial it in. Oh, Dylan Hughes goes off. Dylan Hughes gets into the dirt. He does fight back. Earlier this week on Tuesday on a motorcycle, the Permatex motorcycle, excuse me, here we go. Dylan Dozer Hughes in that first outside zone, puts it right in there exactly where you need to be. Ryan Turk gets a little disrupted, gets thrown off as Dylan Hughes goes in that second outside zone, comes out of angle just a little touch, but reinitiates, and now Ryan Turk drops into formation. That hot hatchback comes out of it again, and now going to the outside zone goes Ryan Turk. He goes deep. Cool content. Here we go. Slide left for Ryan Turk, right for Dylan Hughes. One more time. Dylan Hughes and Dylan Hughes gets the win. Fourth championship would be the first ever four-time champion. Here we go. James Machine Dean, AutoZone Mustang RTR, Spec 5 FD. He wants to advance on and knock out Odie and maybe win it. We'll see. Andy Haley, he's going to fight tooth and nail. Going to that second outside zone goes the Mustang. A little disruption there, a little attitude. Andy Haley not backing down. A little bit of distance here between Andy Haley and James Dean in that last outside zone. Goes James. I mean, look at the precision. I mean, he is putting on a clinic, using every bit of the tarmac. Times he beats himself, overcooks it. Right now, Andy Haley's going to try to take down this three-time champion, and he is a very capable driver. Ooh, he does drop that tire. Might have been two, but that will not be an incomplete. Definitely not three in the second outside zone. There goes Andy Haley, and look at that. He is right on that razor's edge. He is riding that tire right on that white line. James Dean goes in on the inside. Amazing proximity by James Dean. Like I said, a minor mistake by James out front, but Haley, and a good effort by Andy Haley, but James just a level up. So some great driving by Andy Haley, but James Dean. First and two, here we go. This is Jeff Jones going into that first outside zone, and he draws a good line there, filling all of it. That allows Brandon Sorensen to just get to the side of him, and as you said, looks like a little straight line approach, but both of them mimicking the angle. Brandon Sorensen, I mean, he's just a magnet to that big drift energy evil. Nissan 370Z. Oh, buddy, we're dropping some tire, getting a little out of shape. Everywhere Jeff is going, even into the dirt, Brandon is going. Yeah. Brandon Sorensen out front, Jeff Jones in that chase position. Let's see what we got here from Sorensen. Initiates, good angle from, that looked like two tires off that front right, almost overcooks it. And look at Jeff Jones, slingshots up there, gets a few car lengths on. Brandon dipping tires again. This is very unlike what we've seen, the trending Brandon Sorensen. Oh man, he drops the tire again. He is all over the track. The juice is loose. Jeff Jones gets the win, taking out Brandon Sorensen. Here we go. Odie Bakshis, the field suspension S15 going against Connor Shanahan in that Red Bull BMW. Odie Bakshis comes in that first outside zone. He is right there on that razor's edge. Connor Shanahan, the Shadow, living up to his new nickname as he is a Formula Drift rookie, but a rookie by no means. He's a champion across the pond, and Shanahan grinds into the door, transitions into that last outside zone. Here comes Shanahan. He's applying the pressure. Odie Bakshis absolutely on the edge of the track. He's named after the actor and the racer, right? Here we go, Connor Shanahan, as James is a Shanahan fan right now, and he's good friends with him. He's seen him grow up, and Odie Bakshis applies the pressure. He changes back and goes in that second outside zone. Shanahan dials in. Odie Bakshis, the field suspension, and there he is. He's grinding the door. Let's see the transition. How's he gonna do? Shanahan goes in. Odie Bakshis right there. Odie Bakshis comes out of it a little bit. Oh, buddy.
Wow.
Odie must win. It's a one more time for one. One more time. They're going at it again. And a master class. He put on a clinic. But Connor Shanahan, the shadow was right there. Here we go. Odie Bakshis, a must win for him. Or James Dean is your 2024 Formula Trim champion. All right, Odie Bakshis back at it like a track addict into that second outside zone. Connor Shanahan right there. Takes a little bit of angle out of it. Odie Bakshis, the pride of Lithuania. Now in Southern California, field suspension boss. He's right there once again like a broken record. Just a surgeon. It's a must win for Odie. He's chasing down a very talented Connor Shanahan. He got a win earlier this year at round 3. Can Connor Shanahan take down Odie Bakshis and solidify James Dean as their 24 Formula Trim champion? Connor Shanahan goes into the outside zone. There he is once again. Odie Bakshis in the pocket. Shanahan goes that second outside zone. Odie Bakshis once again right there. Look at that left foot break. Odie risking it for the biscuit. Banging doors. Oh, doctor. Going in that last outside zone. Here goes Odie Bakshis. Comes in on the inside. Shanahan right there on the outside. Banging doors once again. Holy cow. Here we go. This is a must win for Odie Bakshis. And Odie Bakshis gets the win. Nismo Auto Parts Z, and here comes Hiro Manoa, Juku Racing, Jerry Yang Racing vehicle, comes that first outside zone. He does exceed it just a little bit. You can see the posture here, going to that second outside zone. Forsberg jumps to the side of him. Look at the power on deck. He mimics the angle. Hiro's putting the car in the right place. Oh, Forsberg looks like he transitioned. Want to see that angle though. Again, sometimes that's not totally indicative. And look at Forsberg. He's showing them, like I said, you know, really give it that X factor. Here we go, the second half of this battle. Here we go, Chris Forsberg, Hiro Manoa from Japan. Tip to tail, Hiro Manoa drops in. Forsberg uses all of the course. Talking about the edge of the course, that first outside zone transitions into outside zone 2. Here goes Forsberg. Manoa, he's back there a little bit. Here goes Forsberg. The GT radial goes round. Here coming to that last outside zone. He keeps it between the lines. Forsberg dialing it in right there.
Yeah.
I mean, Hiro does come up on that last outside zone, but Chris Forsberg, the 3-time champion, gets the win. Chris Forsberg gets the win. Frederick Osbo, Kazuya in that yellow vehicle, the ISR Performance, Jerry Yang Racing, 86, and Frederick Osbo in that Toyota Rockstar Energy Drink GR Supra. That first outside zone, the bumpers flapping in the wind in the second outside zone. Look at Frederick Osbo, lunge forward, whoa! Oh, because it looked like he was going off, but actually Kazuya dove on the inside. Gonna need to see that overhead to really see what went down in all of that smoke. All right, the GT radial smoke in the face. And then Kazuya Taguchi in the 86. Here we go. Coming down the chute, let's see this initiation by Frederick Osbo. Freddie, the Norwegian Hammer, comes in that first outside zone. Kazuya Taguchi a bit on the inside. Let's see how they manage Kazuya now. He jumps forward, he slingshots, he bullfrogs, he jumps up, he squats. He's coming up short now. Freddie using all the course, gets to that razor's edge. And Kazuya Taguchi once again on the inside cannot dig deep like Frederick Osbo. This slide of left for Taguchi, or right for the 3-time champion, Frederick, the Norwegian Hammer Osbo, and the Rockstar Energy Drink Toyota GR Supra. Shots being fired. Yeah. All right, well, here we go. Adam LZ, one of the most popular drivers out there. So Chelsea layout, and then you can recount what goes down. Adam LZ, Jonathan Hurst, Adam LZ in that Drift HQ. BMW transitioning now into that first outside zone. Here goes Adam LZ. Oh, buddy, that's a 3, that's a 4, maybe. And that is all not all she wrote totally, but Adam LZ, that's going to be an incomplete. Comes in way too hot in his Drift HQ BMW. And he looks like he's driving angry right now. And that's a mad Adam LZ right there. Goes off, and Jonathan did get inside of him, but not his fault. Here we go, the Mr. Cool Cadillac. Jonathan Hurst, the pride of Paducah, keeps it within that first outside zone. Transitions now into that second outside zone. Oh, here comes Adam. You talked about it, and here he comes, and he comes out swinging and almost gets into the side of Jonathan Hurst, and Breezy's might be popped open earlier. Oh, and Adam goes off. Oh,
this is what we're talking about with the under and overdrive, right? So Hurst did a good job of balancing that and doing what he needed to do.
That's yeah. Here it is officially. Jonathan Hurst gets the win, knocking out Adam LZ. See how he does here. He's got to advance on, but Trent Beecham's going to try to put a stop to that. Here we go, that Clonex Nexon Tires BMW, Matt Field, the Heat Wave, visual, Borla exhaust, Lead Customs Corvette. That second outside zone, there goes Trent Beecham. You see, again, Field kind of surging back and forth. Beecham, he's looking a little more settled in that lead position. Now transition that last out one. Beecham using all of the course. Look at Beecham, he's on a tear. Wow. Matt Field diving in on the inside. Wow. That was a great lead run by Beecham, and you see him down. How's Matt Field gonna do out front with that clean air through that start chicane? Our final battle of our top 16. Who's advancing on and who is going against Jonathan Hurst? Here we go, Matt Field, correction there, but look at Trent Beecham drops right into formation, and there's that horsepower. You see him, oh, but Beecham says, all right, I got it too. In that second outside zone, look at the angle from Matt Field. A lot more settled with that clean air out front. Transition now in the last outside zone.
Oh no!
Oh, buddy! Matt Field almost overcooks it. He brings it back, and look at Beecham. Beecham, right for Matt Field. It looks like Trenton Beecham gets the win, and it is, oh, not unanimous.
One more time.
He needs to continue on, but again, he's cool. Dylan Hughes wants to take him out. He wants a victory here this year. He wants to get on the box. James Dean puts it right in that first outside zone. Now transition to the second outside zone. There goes James. Dylan Hughes quite, oh, James goes tires off. Throws up the gravel. That throws off Dylan Hughes quite a bit. As maybe, you know, to be honest, and there it is, like we said, as he is the machine, sometimes it was the dozer who goes 202 miles per hour on the Permatex motorcycle wants to take down the three-time champ. Here we go, James Dean, and again, Odie Bocci saying, go, Dylan, go. As he goes in that second outside zone. Whoa, look at this. So Dylan Hughes, James Dean gets to the door, he spins out, and some contact was made. James Dean, this gets interesting. I don't want to assume that James was a little too aggressive.
Previous to that, it doesn't look like James in a good spot. Dylan now transitioning out. Looks like he might be a touch late getting on throttle.
Here we go, James Dean, Dylan Hughes. Is James Dean still alive? And yes, he is. James Dean gets the victory. Here we go, Jeff Jones will lead Odie Bocci's giving chase. Here comes Jeff Jones, the evil Nissan 370Z, Odie Bocci's in zone, kind of dives in. You saw him kind of attack Jeff Jones, now transitioning into the second outside zone. Jeff Jones digs deep in that second outside zone, now coming in that last outside zone. Odie Bocci's kind of taking a shallower line and now dives in on that third. And Odie Bocci, so you can see, lunging back and forth. 14.9 of Odie Bocci's here in Utah. Will James Dean be a champion? Will Odie get the win? He goes across the nose of Jeff Jones. Odie Bocci's in that first outside zone. He gets right to the course. Now transition to outside zone 2. A little bit of wavering here. Good angle there from Odie Bocci's. And this is what we saw from him out front. Jeff Jones back there quite a bit. Odie Bocci's puts it in. Jeff Jones puts 2 tires off. Not part of the conversation.
Yeah.
And the biggest championship contention, and it gets the win. Odie Bocci unanimously. Here we go, Frederick, the Norwegian Hammer Osbo, the Rockstar Energy Drink, Toyota GR Supra initiates Chris Forsberg into Osbo using all the course. Watch his transition, the rocket, the slingshot by both of them. Look at Freddie. Actually, Forsberg gave him some room, bounces back, jumps forward. Oh, Forsberg taking an inside line. Let's see how they handle this last outside zone. Drops into formation. Osbo in, Forsberg right there. Brings it across the finish line. Chris Forsberg through that start chicane. See the mile per hour go up, the accelerometer, a little bit of decel there, going to that first outside zone, riding right on that edge, and now coming into that second outside zone. Very similar tit for tat. Forsberg flirting with the edge of the track. He's off. So he throws up a little bit of dirt here, transitions in that last outside zone. Forsberg right there. Now he's on that course edge. Osbo, there he is right there. Oh, taking a look at Frederick Osbo, Chris Forsberg, and one more time, and Frederick Osbo gets the win. The team fixed it, and that could play a major role in the battle against Odie. But right now, it's Beecham out front. Jonathan Hurst in the chase position. Beecham, Hurst, he talked about how hot the car was running. Even though he's sponsored by Mr. Cool, he can't keep the car too cool. And there it goes, Trenton Beecham into that second outside zone. Now transitioning into that final outside zone. Beecham, he started shallow and then brought it in, and look at Hurst. Here's two young guns taking out each other. So here we go. Jonathan Hurst, Mr. Cool Cat on XLR, initiating into that first outside zone. Big angle from him. Puts it not all the way into that first outside zone, but definitely gets in there. Trenton Beecham, that allows him to get to the side of it and into that second outside zone. The way Beecham's car is set up, very settled. Now transitioning is that, oh, buddy. Let's take a look at that one. Look at that overhead. Oh, it looks like Hurst goes off. 1-2. Oh, man. You know, stoked. Trent Beecham, 999, gets the win. Odie Bakshis, James Dean leaving the start line. The championship is up for grabs, and it's between these two gentlemen. Odie Bakshis, let's send it! James Dean comes in, chasing him down to that first outside zone. Now transitioning into the second outside zone. Odie Bakshis, good composure. James Dean right there, maybe giving a little bit of inch. And here comes Odie Bakshis in that second outside zone, transitioning into that final outside zone. James Dean, he wants it. He goes into the dirt. He drops tire. Odie Bakshis keeps the composure, the field suspension, keeping them rock solid. Let's send it here in Utah. Do we have a 2024 champion in James the Machine Dean? Or is it Odie Bakshis going to put a stop to it? Again, it's championship or push. James Dean goes that first outside zone, transition to outside zone 2. Odie Bakshis, now he makes his presence felt. Oh, look at him, angle for angle. James Dean dips a tire. 1-2, trunks are flapping. It's championship or push. Odie Bakshis gets thrown off. James Dean, massive angle. Odie Bakshis riding shotgun in that right-hand drive Ford Mustang. Are you kidding me? If Odie wins, it goes to Irwindale. If James Dean wins, he is your 2024 champion, and Odie Bakshis gets the win. Here we go, Trent Beecham, Frederick Osbo. Beecham out of the gate comes out swinging. He knows he can take down the three-time champ. Here we go, Beecham in that first outside zone. Look at him using all of the course. He is possessed. Oh, Beecham, what do we got? I think we got into that second outside zone. Now coming into that last outside zone, Frederick Osbo brings it right there. And look at Freddie banging on the door and across that finish line. Trenton Beecham D-beating under, no contact, so you cannot replace it. Frederick Osbo gets the win. This is his bye run. The car's running. It's Osbo and Bakshis in the finals. The Rockstar Energy Drink Toyota GR Supra is getting on the box once again. He got the win in Atlanta, and a great audience there, a great track. And you got to think, Shanahan, we saw that of James Dean a few times. We saw Ryan Turk. Odie has not received a victory. And again, we are taking a look here, and with that, Osbo goes to third place, joined by Vernon there and Robin Ishida. Our final battle of round 7 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship.
Head-to-head in the finals. That's what we're here for.
Here's your popcorn. Send it! Here we go. Frederick Osbo chasing down Odie Bakshis in that first outside zone. These are the finals here in Utah. The Type S Elevated. Round 7, and the championship's coming down to Irwindale. Odie Bakshis, like you said, perfection. Frederick Osbo, he brings it in. He's looking tight. That last outside zone. The cars are wound up, and there it is. Odie Bakshis once again. And here it is, let's send it for potentially the last time here in Utah. Frederick, the Norwegian Hammer Osbo, the Rockstar Energy Drink Toyota GR Supra. Oh, knocks the bumper off of Odie Bakshis' S chassis. Freddie, he's got that special sauce. Let's see if he can pour it on the brisket. Brisket Bakshish, right? Got that smoked meat into that second outside zone. Odie Bakshish has been perfection. He's shown a little bit of glimmer, a little bit of opportunity for Frederick Osbo. Diving in. Woo-wee! Third place here at round 7 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship, his first ever FD podium from Southern California. Next in tires, the 999 Clonex BMW, Trenton Beecham! And the driver that elevated and gets the win is unanimously Odie Bakshish gets the win! And Frederick, the Norwegian Hammer Osbo, gets second here in Utah. Lithuania and all his family and friends cheering him on, and he wins in grand fashion. The pressure was on, and he did not crack. From beginning to end, he knew what needed to be done, and he pushes it to Irwindale even further, closing that point separation between him and James Dean. Wow, when we come back, we'll have the results, point standings, headed to Irwindale. Short break. When we come back, we'll give you the numbers, and we'll sign you off. We'll be right back here from Utah. Congratulations to Odie, Osbo, and of course, first ever FD podium, Trenton Beecham. We'll come back, we'll give you the math, we'll figure it all out here in Utah. Thank you so much to Kemp and his whole team and the live stream. It's a hot one, on track, off track. Now we're gonna celebrate Pro Spec, and I need a beer. Send it, Formula Drift Nation.